In the air to right, and he did it again!
Thank you all for watching this here video. Please like and subscribe and follow.
Welcome back to another Lefties 2 broadcast, and we got the infield rankings update, first to 38. Let's get into it. All right, here it is. It's been over a year and a half, I believe, almost, more than over a year and a half since I last did this ranking. And crazy enough, I've only added about six or seven infielders. But of course, throughout that whole entire process, Miniclip has done its job of nerfing, buffing infielders. So, of course, with the inclusion of all of these infielders and, of course, all the nerfing and buffing, we can go ahead and change our ranking. And we're going to get right into it. And as always, in these rankings, I cannot be wrong, but you can disagree with me. That's how opinions work. All right. Let's go right into it. Number 38, you already know. If you guys have paid attention, any attention to the top 100 players, you know it's Barbara. Barbara cannot hit, cannot run, but she is pretty nasty. Pretty nasty in the fielding and throwing. Maxed out level 14, 222 throwing and fielding. So that is helpful, and she does give out some gold. I've yet to hit a home run with her, and I am using her just to kind of have fun towards the end of this month with my no-hit lineup, which I'll show a video on that one day where I go through some games doing a no-hit lineup. But Barbara is sitting here number 38. She is terrible. All right. Next being said, and I'm sad, man. I actually took some time into this, really put some effort into kind of putting this rank together. And of course, there's a lot of things you can kind of flip flop and you second guess yourself. And this player, I wish he was better. He's like the Wang of the infield. But Hank is like just good at everything. Contact, power, speed, throwing, fielding. Just pretty good. Again, contact 192, power 189, speed, right? 196. That's the math. Throwing 189, fielding 196. The guy is just good. I mean, you have him in your lineup. He'll win you some game. I mean, I wish I could put him higher. But like everyone else actually brings some type of value. Even this guy's skill is probably the 104th, no, 103rd best skill in the game. When hitting the first pitch, his power is 30 plus 30, right? Plus 30. But you throw a ball to him and that goes away. It's the worst. Again, 103rd best skill in the game. Probably, 100, 102. Now, I've not ranked the skills. Just kind of give you an idea. Tyler is the worst skill. Andre, 103. Second worst skill. Hank, right? 102. There it is. All right. So number 37 is Hank. Number 36. Number 36. We got to go to the actual common lineup here. It is Terry. Terry is another one of those players. You can see batting 532 with them. Not too bad. Contact, at level 14, 192 is pretty good. Power is pretty low, 169. Speed, 216. And then on a bunt, which is the key right here, there's not bunting for base hits. It still is not as common as it used to be. And I'm talking when I say used to be, like 3-4 years ago when there was a glitch to that whole entire thing. But building pretty solid, throwing about average, right? So that's why in my comments, he's a pretty decent first baseman. But, again, the guy's going to get some decent hits for you, but he's sitting there at 36 for a reason. All right, next. This next one, sticking with the commons here, I could have gone higher, I think, but Smith. Smith, again, you see Smith sometimes in top lineups. Again, you look at the contact, 216, speed, 222, power, throwing, fielding. Not really great in any of those. Again, second baseman probably is your best bet. And he's pretty much the reason why he's obviously above Terry is because he has the same exact like skill as Terry going to first, but faster, and he doesn't need a bunt. They're the same player, except obviously better contact and more speed. So I mean, it's Smith he's good, but he's sitting there at number 35. Number 35 is Smith. Number 34, talking about players that again they buffed this guy. He is an offense of threat nightmare. Then at 14, 173 throwing and fielding, speed about average at 182 level 14. But the Duke can bomb, right? 212 contact, 222 power. But again, there's a lot of other infielders that can hit that add a little bit more to the game. This guy is like the epic Robinson. That's kind of who I compare him to. He's like the Robinson but he's epic. But Robinson's even better than him because I think he's faster, and Robinson, gets higher contact and power as the hits come. This guy, mainly because of skill, right? 104th worst skill in the game. All right, here we go. Number 33. Fun fact: number 33 here was my very first level 13. Thought I'd be kind of sneaky putting him here at shortstop. Rodriguez. Now, again, another buffed player, left-handed batters plus 38 power, right? So 173 is his level 14 power. So putting him there at 211, I believe, if my math is correct. The contact at 186. So, I mean, hitting against lefties, pretty decent hitter. Again, fielding and throwing, money, right? He could be a lot higher. There's other defenders, if you're going to use defensive players, that are going to bring a little bit more hitting in general. But I mean, the contact, even at level 14, not terrible if you're going to have him there. But Rodriguez sitting there at number 33. Number 32. Number 32, Way. Right? Again, another high contact, high speed, kind of like the Smith. Power, throwing, and fielding, all pretty bad at 169, level 14. But the cool thing about it is he's probably, I think, one of the better skills in the game, especially if you're trying to learn manual batting, is that, the strike zone stays up. So if you could manual bat, he's gonna just kind of help you out. He's kind of fun to play with. His running is just annoying, but he is was it emo gothic kind of guy. But Way, again, that speed, 222 and a contact 232, that's one of the highest natural contacts in the game. So he does bring some value at that leadoff spot. Again, probably the better value at second base. I play him at third base in one of my accounts, lower level account, so I don't really have to worry about his throwing. But Way, he's number 32. Number 31, Dexter. And I can tell you, probably be even lower. A 169 contact and power. The speed at 216 is pretty solid. Fielding 232. One of the better natural fielders in the game. So the fielding is great. You'd probably say right below Jordan, right? But the throwing 192. Now the problem with him at level 14, 13, whatever, his skill doesn't come up enough to justify him, right? As a legendary player, his skill rarely shows up. And apparently he has a lot of female admirers. So, I mean, 31 is his ranking, though. 31. All right, top 30. Top 30. Seldomly used, seldomly seen. Harper. Harper, again, you don't see her a lot. Obviously, she's an event card. Tough to get to 1,000. Takes a long time. But again, late hitting, she adds that extra distance. Again, they don't really tell you what the distance is. So whatever. But 219 power at level 14, 196 contact, pretty good hitter. Speed 189, so that's really good. Fielding, right? Fielding at 182 level 14. Throwing again, throwing lefty, so she's a bona fide first baseman in my opinion. First base person, I guess you want to call her that, or maybe she's a they. I don't know. Probably by the haircut. Who knows? Right? And, she was in the military too, so give her that. Solid hitter. We just don't see her enough. And, for, again, the best ability in this game is availability. So there you go. Harper, number 29. Number 29. Ibrahimovic. This guy, low key, another solid defense, best defending first baseman, from the left-handed throwers. That's kind of the concept there. Contact 182, power 218. That sidearm, you don't see enough of that. Really, Maria and Riley, you don't see enough to where that contact is going to really come in. So the skills not really there, but he is a pretty, solid option if you're looking for someone that's not a legendary or epic. That's going to add some value on defense as well as that sneaky power as well. So Ibrahimovic, 29. All right, next. Another underrated player is Jackson. Again, contact and power. Now I played a lot with him. 618 is the batting average, so not a lot to really mess it all up. Another first baseman, clogged a lot of left-handed hitting first, like a lot of left-handed throwing infielders in this game that are power bats. So again, an original player in the game and predict the pitch type, which is great. There's a better infielder that does it better. You could predict it yourself and gives you the location. Um, but anyways, contact 212 or 202, right? 222 power, speed 174, throwing 173, and fielding. Again, Ibrahimovic, a little bit better on the fielding, but again, Jackson, not a legendary. So good opportunity for still a good defender if you can get him to level 14, right? That's number 28. 27, number 27, Brock, the man bun. I look at his offensive numbers at 205, right? Power is at 196, speed 182, throwing 173, fielding 205, and then when opponents in scoring position. So another clutch defender in the game. I think a good second baseman because of lack of throwing, right? And again, Brock, dude, he brings that offense. And if you're a rookie player, Brock is a solid option for your infield game, in my opinion. Brock is a go-to guy. Number 27. All right. Number 26, Chad. Now, again, I don't have the stats up right here. This month's player of the month, or the new player. Not a good thrower, not a good fielder, not a lot of speed, but power, contact. So, again, kind of like Brock, but no, not like Brock. Brock's a better defender. But again, he's kind of fun. He does have that breaking ball ability. So kind of goes with Wilson, right? The counterpart. So that's kind of nice to kind of get a little bit bigger glimpse when you see the breaking balls coming to help you out, especially if you're a little late. That's awesome. So Chad's sitting there, just kind of a hitter. That's about it. All right. Number 25. 25, Alexandra. Now, you're starting to see her a little bit more, I think, just because it's so hard to get these legendary cards and epic cards leveled up fast enough, especially if you're free to play. So if you're a longtime player, Alexandra, solid, just with the speed alone, 205 at level 14, 216 power, 182 contact. But again, lefty thrower. So again, I think a first baseman is, in my opinion, bases loaded. So she's so versatile. You could put her in the leadoff spot. And then if you're not going to put her at leadoff, I put her at 5 or 6, in my opinion, just because you want the bases loaded with her, right? So you put her behind like 5, you put her behind Kevin, right? You put her behind Kevin or even a Hammer. So people walk that person a lot. So you want Hammer and Kevin on with 2 people on. So then people are so careful with Kevin and Hammer that Alexandra is their safety net and more opportunities for that bases loaded opportunity to hit that huge bomb at 256 power. So Alexander at 25. All right, here we go. Number 24, Robinson. Robinson again. Here we go. So like I talk about, like the contact, the power, the speed, throwing and fielding, not great. right? Again, like I said earlier, he is better than Tyler because he has more speed than Tyler. Throwing and fielding pretty bad at 169. I think Tyler had 173 on the throwing. So get a little boost in the speed and maybe the power. But again, Robinson's ability to get that hit streak, I'm telling you guys, like, takes a little bit of work. And I don't know if it still works or not. I'm not sure. But there was a way to get his continuous hit streak up as if it's still a glitch or not. I haven't used it in a while on bunting, right? Bunts. It's kind of crazy how it works. Bunts kind of do it, and doesn't hurt it. So I don't know if that glitch has been fixed, but Robinson sitting here at number 24, not a good defender, but solid offensive option. And if you use him right, Clash League, having him in that one club league game a day where you're fully maxed, you should do that, right? Offensive weapon, right? If you're going to have a weak throwing, put him at first base. I see that a lot. He's a first baseman. People go in a club league, have him fully juiced, and that's a good one at bat for one game, right? He gained his love for baseball from Mueller during their time in special. Oh, another Army guy. Huh. I didn't know Mueller was in special forces. Weird. Okay. Number 23, recently given a buff. I don't necessarily like it too much. Hanzo, right? Hanzo is now at level 14, 202 contact. Power still low, 169. Speed, 192. Building, 216. Throwing went down quite a bit. He was in the 190s in the throwing, but they gave him more of an offensive juice. And now, for me, he could have gone a little, he might have been higher on this list if his hitting was still weaker because of the change in throwing. For me, I take him out of that shortstop spot and he becomes a pretty epic second baseman instead of 182 throwing. And he still makes pretty good plays with that little spinneroo. But second base is probably where I have him more often now just because I took the throwing ability away. But number 23, Hanzo. All right, number 22. And again, you could have flipped him and Hanzo, but I like it here. Number 22, we're looking at Harden. Right? I don't use Harden a lot. You can see the batting average, 436. He has not really been a mainstay, probably less than 200 total at bats with Harden in 5 years of playing, which is crazy because 219 contact is amazing. Speed 219, power 176, so a little below average. Throwing not good, and then fielding one says fielding again. Another one of those low throwing fielding, but a lot of people still use him because of his ability to get those slow rolling balls and get that barehanded play, which comes through clutch at when he's playing third base with that extra speed. Not a lot of errors could potentially happen with Harden, but he's a good offensive leadoff spot is where you typically see him. So Harden's sitting there at number 22. Number 21, right? This is kind of your original leadoff guy in the game or number two batter. All right, a lot of times in the really early days of the game, you see Fox here, be Annie, Fox, Ruth, Kevin, Gibson, something like that. Murray, right? It was kind of like that, where he would be batting in front of Ruth. A lot of ways, steal games in the old days. But again, contact 196, power 169, speed, one of the faster natural players in the game. And again, throwing fielding 182. So he's pretty decent there at a second base, even a third base with that extra speed. So pretty clutch still in this game. Second base is probably where I put him at the moment. But you can still get him on, and he still worries. Again, the idea as a player is if the skill is in the back mind of the pitcher, right? If he's on, the cat and mouse game is on, right? Which makes for a lot of mistakes. So, telling you, man, Fox, number 21. Top 20. And again, I could probably gonna switch Fox and this next player here, Andy. I'll tell you why I did it. Andy at 173 contact, 212 powers, kind of like Jack, but more speed at 232. Throwing and fielding, right? Right there. Like 173 makes for a good second baseman, but still that extra power and speed, like a little bit better than Robinson, just because again, they changed the game where it's so hard to hit doubles nowadays. Uh, but he's one of those players that can still get you that double with that increased speed. And then now it's really difficult to get triples, but he's still a player that can do it, hit in the right spot with runners on. Right. Again, in real baseball, if you throw home, like say a runner's on second base and or you hit a gapper, the guy goes, and then you run home with the player, and the player on second base is still going to third, but doesn't get there, they still count that as a triple, by the way, in this game. Not technically a triple, fielder's choice, but still double, fielder's choice. So Andy there, still useful at number 20. All right, number 19. Number 19 is Willie. Willie with 225 contact, 179 power, speed 192 for the old man, throwing not great, 169, fielding at 196. So this guy is again another solid second baseman, lost in the sauce, but that ability to get the extra power on spin, and again, my kind of kryptonite because I like pitchers with spin. Willie comes up kind of a challenge. And, one of those things, I don't ever see enough of it, but Willie should be an option for you in Clash League because, again, you come up in the ninth inning or something, you need that offensive tool, right? And you're going against someone with some good spin, right? Willie's going to be able to go out there and add that extra power. And he has good contact even without the power. So, Willie at number 19. Number 18, Martina, another seldomly used player, contact speed, variety, fielding at 186. Again, left-handed throwing, so first base option, low throwing, power increases with the foul balls. So again, if for a manual batter, the power increase, right, it is pretty cool to sometimes, it's very rare to get a multiple increased foul balls, even though they did increase the ability of foul balls in the past. It was like, I don't know, one of the notes they did a long time ago. But Martina, still a solid player with that speed and contact, even if you don't get the foul balls. I like her a lot. Number 18. All right. Next, number 17, Mickey. Mickey, 232, one of the better contact players. Again, underrated, one of the top 10 underrated players in the game. You just don't see him a lot because so many people in the very, very top use the power lineups. And I don't know why. 199 power with 232 contact, 189 speed. He's like the equivalent of King, right? He's a King infielder. Pretty decent skill. Doesn't His skill, I think, is underused in the animation. You see him use like on pop flies he jumps or soft little. You got to have an animation. Miniclip has to fix this where they have the animation where it's a sharp line drive and he jumps. It should be a blink of an eye, like wow, like it's gonna be, but it never does. It's never one of those quick hits that you see sometimes people get, and he jumps. I want to see more of that. But Mickey just overall, even without his skill, he comes through fielding 186, throwing again. Throwing is really bad. But again, his best bet is on the corners. But again, I think he's better suited at second base based off his throwing. But again, third base, not a terrible option. Just not a great thrower. All right. Number 16, talking about the throwing, is EG. Again, at 14, 192, contact and power. That's solid. Speed, pretty slow, 176. Throwing at 225. Nastiest thrower in the game with fielding at 192. This guy is just overall, if you don't care about the speed, he's pretty legit, man. I think his hitting ability is, like, according to the numbers, is a little less than it should. It should be a little bit more, kind of like Mark in the outfield. Ridiculous numbers, but just doesn't calculate when you're actually making good hits. And again, because most people don't put him top in the lineup, they have him at 6, 7, or 6 or 7, which a lot of times if you're batting 6 or 7, you're getting nerfed. So he should be like a two-hole hitter, but there's still too many options. But again, defensively, the guy is a stud. All right. So she's number 16. All right. Number 15, we're going Leo. I've used Leo a lot lately for some video content making, but 212 contact with 212 fielding. The throwing at 176, but again, if you time it just right, a little early, that 176 time it just looks good, right? So good relay, looks good on camera. It's quick, so the low throwing ability just kind of creates a more air potential. But power 169, not great. 192 speed's a pretty decent two-hole hitter, maybe six-hole hitter if you're really putting it out there. But 212 contact, I like it. With the fielding, he's a great third baseman in the game, in my opinion. All right, number 14. We're going Tom Bomb. Tom Bomb, again, from level 9 to level 14. Level 9 to 14. In my money, right, he should be, if you're a rookie and you get Tom unlocked, he should be in your lineup. I'm not saying you need to kind of invest in him and make him, like, once you find players that are, you can get a common or a rare level 11, you can take Tom out because you can kind of make up for it. But what I'm saying is at level 9, if you're a rookie, he'll get you there. Even at level 10, level 9, he's one of the best hitters in the game. Even throwing at 192 level 14, that's a great second base. People speed is not great, but I don't like him at first base. Um, Fielding at 169 low, so you could, it's a low fielder, but his throwing at 192 is still good enough to turn that double play. And again, his speed goes really, really low, so he's kind of a liability there. I didn't really typically like him at first, but Tom is, again, you could be, this guy is disgusting, man. He is 216, 232. The power goes up, of course. When he's at bat, obviously, duh, right? Duh. That's redundant. But yes, Tom is a great hitter, and even if you're a rookie, put him in there. You don't need to invest. Like if you get to level 11, maybe that's it. Don't put more into him because again, 9, 10, that's 6 times you have to invest. So I think it's still worth it to at least a level 11 if you're a rookie and mid player. But once you get your common or rare or whoever you want to put in, they're cheaper and they're easier to get. But level 11 Tom is still dangerous. All right. Number 13. Number 13, Martin. Now, again, I would like to have him a little higher here. I just, I had to really be honest with myself. I love Martin. Martin goes into my offensive slash defense. I mean, he adds a little more offense than one of my players I have higher ranked. I do have him at 14. I do like him. Contact 192, power 212. Right, batting 553. He's batting like 7th in my lineup too. So speed, throwing, average, right? Pretty good. But fielding, his fielding is amazing. He adds fielding. Throwing at 182, I wish it's a little higher, but I have him at shortstop when I typically play with him because you guys already know. You already know. If you know, you know who's my second baseman. Okay. But Martin, he's sitting there at 13. Now, this is a surprise for maybe some of you. Again, had to be honest. And number 12, Jack. 12 is Jack. Contact 173. It's low. But look at that. 513 batting average, batting leadoff. Power, speed, throwing is amazing. 202, fielding 189. Now, he has probably, in my opinion, one of the worst skills also. He used to be even worse. They had him at 6, plus 6 on the skill. But when you have the speed at 194, kind of makes him a better leadoff. Low contact. But the reason, again, I like him mainly because his defense. Throwing and fielding combination are solid. Makes great at, getting those speed runners. You make an error, you can still throw them out. But the contact's low, but I'm pretty good. Obviously, at leadoff, batting 513. Go watch one of my very first videos ever, and he's batting 420. So I had to learn how to hit with him, but it's 413, 513. I think it's pretty good. A lot of walk-offs, a lot of home runs. That 216 power. All right, number 11. And number 11, this guy's jumped through the roof. All right, he is my typical everyday shortstop. Him, Martin are all right there, right? Martin, Jack, and Jordan. Jordan and Martin get swapped out. If I want more defense, obviously, Clash League, contact 209, power 192. Not really the power you think. 192 should be probably more home runs if they don't get enough. Speed 196 is pretty solid. Throwing 182 again. If you just go, I don't typically do this, but Same throwing as Mark. So, but the fielding of 182, irrelevant. He doesn't make any errors, except that weird animation where they do the Bill Buckner between the legs, and it's just like not a play. It doesn't count it as an error, but it is. He does have that, and he does have throwing errors on occasion, which when on defense doesn't make errors. So throwing errors are there, which are dumb because it says when on defense doesn't make errors. So, which is also redundant because you don't make errors on offense unless you're running the wrong bases. So that's kind of redundant. But to say he doesn't make errors. Anyways, he's number 11. Number 10. Now again, I think I should have swapped him a little bit lower. I think after second guessing myself, but we're gonna keep to it. Wilson, again, Wilson, just an amazing hitter. They nerfed him, and everyone bitched about it. I just got him to 13 or 14, and the 5% extra. And if you hit the ball, you're still gonna hit a home run. 212, and again, he takes away a whole pitch. Contact power, 212. Right? Speed, not great. Throwing, not great. Fielding, this is the key. 192 fielder. So if you're going with that all offense, right, he's left-handed, he should be at first base. But the fact is you can put him at second base, right? You can put him at shortstop. I had him at shortstop for a long time. Right. Before Jordan got the boost. But I had him at shortstop in my power lineup. Just because of that fielding, 192. Not too bad for having that power lineup. Wilson, number 10. Number 9. Gina. Yeah, I like Gina so much, but I just don't have room for her. You got a lefty thrower, and it's always so awkward having people use her at shorter third because she does that little switch. She fields it, and you got to switch, and you got to throw. But contact speed, another one of those players. Fielding at 192, again, kind of like Wilson. Throwing pretty bad. Power, not great. But great leadoff. And again, the throwing gets made up with the speed that she goes to the ball. So her skill being on defense, because her offense is already pretty good. And don't you just hate it when she gets that little sneaky home run on you? Happens so infrequently, but she did graduate top middle school. So maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. Number 8. Number 8 is Tua. Tua contact is ridiculous. Look at that increase from just 12 to 13. I haven't at 14 yet. Skills, in 13, 222 power, right? Huh. I wonder if that's like all together the increase all the way to 14. I don't know. I don't think so. But again, this guy's contact and power, that's so weird. I wonder if that's all the way to 14. 222 power. That seems like I don't know, maybe that's ridiculous. Either way, right? Man, holy smokes. And then the contact right there, sitting there, 222. No, 212. No. Yep, 212 contact, 222 power. The guy, still trying to get used to him. I'm on one of my lower accounts, but that timing he's a problem. Again, sneaky leadoff hitter because you want him. The best bet to get the full charge every time is if there's no runners on. You got to be a little bit more time. You got to time the pitcher a little bit. Cat and mouse game when runners are on base, but still a problem. See, 667 batting average. Come on, come on. Number 7. Number 7. Kaya. Getting 202 contact power speed. Whatever happens goes up. Amazing. Throwing 173, fielding 182. So mainly kind of like a more improved Robinson, in my opinion. But she's just so her hitting is like underrated. She hits bombs even at the 202 level. So she's just a problem on offense. Like an improved Robinson, better than life than Tyler, right? Not a good defense, but second base is probably a good spot for her. But she is nasty. So Kaya is the winner at number 7. Number 6, I don't know why I have him so high, but Andre, 219, 228, speed at 176, throwing, again, 186 throwing, right-handed. That's important. Fielding, not great, but 186 throwing makes him a great second baseman in my opinion, for the power that he brings. And again, one of those players that everyone just despises when he comes up because his celebration is the 103rd ranked skill. And I'm going to do a video on that one day, 100 and whenever I do it. But the dance, you just don't want to have the dance. Dance is one of those things where it's like, please do not. I don't care what you do. You walk them just to not give up a home run. Because that dance, you click and it says tap the screen to click away, and it doesn't go away. You got to watch the dance. So yeah, Andre, number 6. Number 5. And the reason why Jae-Sung here is number 5 is he plays all 4 and he brings something to each one. 38 more to go. Hopefully this month is the month I get him up there. Gain different abilities. So first base, power, right? Second base is speed. That's the least likely I would put him. Kind of a useless spot for him, in my opinion. Shortstop, defender, third base, an arm. He's my next level 14 player. That's not a pitcher. So whenever he gets there, he's going to be there. Trust me. All right. So Jae-Sung sitting there number 5. Number 4, boop, boop, Emily. I love Emily. One, already fast. Her throwing and fielding are through the roof, right? Contact and power. This is where you get to control it. And again, they will nerf her. Not enough people have her at 14 yet. But again, she will be there as well. She'll be if she somehow beats Jae-Sung, right? This is the thing. She's like Jae-Sung's next, and then Emily is going after Jae-Sung because just where they're at in the numbers game. Because I love, and again, it's like she's a great third baseman or even shortstop. So that's going to be great. It'll be like a pretty epic infield. You could go like, okay, you could put Jae-Sung at first base, adds the power, right? You have Martin at shortstop. It brings Durant up, right, at second base, and it's a solid epic. You could just win with defense and offense. I love Emily. Okay, so number 3 coming up, top 3's Kevin. Kevin, 212, 232, 238. Put him in 4th. I don't know why I see like low level people have him in 3rd or 5th or 2nd. I don't get it. But Kevin is a problem. And I don't care about his speed, throwing, whatever. He's a first baseman. Put him at first base. But the fact of the matter is, he's probably the number 2 or 3. He's probably number 1 walked player in this game all time, just because he's an original player in the game, right? But Kevin still presides that problem where, people are overly try to finesse it or they just walk him. So he's going to get on base, right? He's a threat. Simple as he's like the infield version of, Hammer, him and Hammer, right? You got more outfielders that are starting to get walked a lot too, for sure. But Tua is going to catch up to that too, right? Hawaii, Samoa, different places, people, but still. Okay, number 2. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? It's Gibson. This is probably biased on myself. But Gibson is my favorite player, just based off of usage. I have other favorite players, right? Let's go back here real quick, right? Let's go back here. So, favorite player is Gibson. Been in the lineup since day 1. Not even Jack has been in my lineup since day 1. But Gibson, right? 216, 228 power, speed 186. That's pretty above average, I think. Throwing, crap, building 179. I think it's a little bit better than that, in my opinion. First baseman, has almost $3,000 in the home runs, 3,000 home runs. That the ability, like, to have that liner. Again, you think about the players. Think about Gibson. You think about Giro. You think about Rosa. Yeah, I think those players have that ability to get more. So Gibson, even with those line drives, manual hitting, man, I'm telling you, it works. It works. And I don't know, man. I just love Gibson. He's my guy, right? He's number 2, though, because You all know who's number one infielder, never going to come out, the main lineup. Here's Durant. Is Durant number one? Again, what he does on his relays. Contact, 186, not great. Power, 216. I have him batting sixth in my lineup. 503 batting average, but got over 1,000 home runs. Throwing at 219. Fielding is a weakness, but again, he doesn't make enough errors to take that out. Fielding doesn't matter in this game, really. The fielding stat is the dumbest stat in this game. It is the dumbest stat in this game, right? So, again, fun fact, if you guys didn't know the question marks, right? Just let you guys know. You can press these stupid buttons. Durant's number one because never coming out. Turns double plays. I mean, I don't, my other accounts, I don't use them all the time, but come on. The double play, the snap double play. You have a good third baseman. You have a good Durant second baseman. That 5-4-3 double play is the quintessential top double play in the game. And you have a good throwing third baseman. Got him at second base. I hate it when the shortstop covers the second base. It's so annoying, but it doesn't happen enough. Durant is number one. And again, that is my infield list. It's a long video, guys. Just think about it. Over 30 minutes. Editing took probably a lot longer. That is it. That's the video. Little side note, if you stay tuned and watch this whole thing or whatever, look at this. Stay tuned for this coming month, December. Got the legendary 3 epics. Hopefully before the new player comes out, I'm hoping I can get this epic here filled where the rare is at. Because I want to make the next video of getting the new player for free. It usually works with epics, not really legendaries, but sometimes. So hopefully, cross your fingers. That's it, everyone. Thank you for watching on the Lefties 2 broadcast. We'll see you next time.